Sangye Judan, Sangye Junam La, Chancho Bardo, Dan, Dagi, Chushin, Gibe, Sanam, Drala, Benjure, Sangye, Drubara, Angye, Chudan, Sangye Junam La, Chancho Bardo, Dan, Dagi, Chushin, Gibe, Sanam, Drala, Benjure, Sangye, Drubara, Sangye, Chudan, Sangye Junam Tanjo bardo dane gyablo che dagye chushe yive sonam ye dola beje sangye koro. Sa shi begye chushe me do chama jira blingshe ninde genpa de sangye shindo me de bihai Jogun namda shenla che bora yo ye nama goro Meda la gamne yanda ya. Oh yeah, thank you. So please set your motivation. Please attune your motivation to the bodhisattva attitude, which is to attain enlightenment for all sentient beings. So today's Dharma talk will be the Precious Garland to the Supreme Path, Precious Garland of the Supreme Path by Master Gampopa. So we are going with 10 lessons each week, and so today's lessons is called the 10 Exhortations, or 10 Persuasions, or 10 Encouragements. Now, we can think of encouragement as in encouraging other people, or other people encouraging me, other people encouraging us. But the most important, the strongest, most effective encouragement is always self-encouragement. But of course, in order to gain self-encouragement, in order to self-encourage, in order to encourage ourselves, we need self-confidence, and in order to gain self-confidence, we need encouragement from others, from our teachers, from the Dharma, and from the Sangha, our community of practitioners that we have spiritual harmony. We share spiritual harmony with. So today, without much more explanation, I will delve into today's topic, which is the 10 encouragements, or 10 persuasions. So now, the first thing, the first of the 10 encouragement. The first thing is to encourage oneself, persuade oneself to practice the Dharma. And the reason we should practice the Dharma is because by reflecting upon the precious human life. Now, human life itself is not precious in a sense, because no matter when we pass from this life, we will be born into another life. So life is countless. There are countless number of lives, and so we will be born into an insect. We will be born into some bacteria. We will be born into different beings. So there isn't that much significance to that. And even as a human being, human life in Buddhism itself, human life itself is not regarded as a precious one. And now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that life is not to be endeared. Of course, life in general is precious. But when we talk about the precious human life in Buddhism, Buddha Dharma, we're not talking about human life in general. So usually when we talk about the precious human life, we usually say 10 endowments, and 8 so there are 18 qualities of a human life. So those who are endowed with the 18 qualities of precious human life, these human lives are considered extremely important, extremely precious. And when we say one must not waste one's time and engage in the Buddha Dharma practice, is if we are endowed with those 18 qualities, then we should not waste our time. This is such a precious human life. So normally, when in Buddha Dharma, when we talk about precious human life, we are talking about a human life with the 18 qualities, 18 precious qualities. So we will talk about that later. So human life in general, for example, if you are a human being but engaging 24/7 or maybe 80% of your time in doing non-virtuous deeds, doing despicable things, then your human life is not precious. Human life in general is important, is precious, but you have wasted your human life, and the human life according to you is not precious. So in Buddhism, when we say precious human life, we're not talking about all human lives here. We are talking about human lives that is endowed with the 18 qualities. So the 18 qualities we will go later. Now, to summarize, the reason it is important is this. After being born in a human life, then trying, putting efforts and practicing the Dharma and achieving enlightenment. And that on one hand. And us, so we, as I said in the beginning, we are always life, we always take birth, and whenever we take a birth, there is life. So life, there will be innumerable kind of lives, no matter where you are born in samsara. So being born in the human birth, that on other hand, so being born in human birth and as a human being achieving enlightenment. So if we are to scale the two, being born as a human being is much more rarer and much more difficult than becoming a Buddha as a human being. So therefore, we see the scarcity, we see the importance, and we see the preciousness, and we see the rarity, the importance of human life, a human life endowed with 18 qualities. So a human life with 18 qualities have such an incredible potential to become enlightened, become a Buddha within this very lifetime. Just because you are a human being doesn't mean you can become a Buddha in this very lifetime. But if you are a human being endowed with the 18 qualities, then you will be more. If you put effort, then you will become a Buddha in this lifetime. So therefore, if you have, so this is the idea. if you were to have a wish-fulfilling jewel, a sort of a gemstone, that whatever wish you make, it comes true. And somebody lends it to you. It's not yours, right? You borrow it from someone, so you can keep it for 3 days or 2 days or maybe 2 hours. So in that very short time, what are you going to do? Are you just going to keep it very safe, maybe just show it to everyone, show off, or just display it in the altar? Or are you going to use it to fulfill whatever wishes you have? So similarly, a human life endowed with the 18 qualities. So all of us have that human life endowed with 18 qualities. So we will. Shall we just display it on the altar? This human life endowed with 18 qualities, or shall we use that just as we will use a wish-fulfilling jewel to fulfill whatever wishes, whatever desires we have? So therefore, we must use our human life to practice the Dharma, to maximize the full potential of our of the 18 human life endowed with 18 qualities, which is to attain enlightenment, Buddhahood, which has no flaws at all and is endowed with all the positive qualities that is available. So, as I explained a little earlier, this precious human life is very rare to find. Very, very rare to find. When I say precious human life, I'm referring to a human life that is endowed with the 18 qualities. The 18 qualities is the 10 leisures and 8 leisures and 10 endowments, and 8 leisures and 10 fortunes. 8 leisures and 10 fortunes. So the 18 qualities. When we are, so such a precious human life is very rare to find, very rare to obtain, very difficult to obtain. But not just that, it doesn't stay long. At most, it's a little over 100, and then we are gone. And then, depending on what actions we have taken, we will be born into different realms: God realm, hell being, hungry ghost, and so on and so forth. It's very short. So His Holiness used to say that we are like guests in this planet. A guest never stays permanently. A guest never stays permanently in the hotel. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month at max. And then that's it. Then they move to another. They move to another place, another destination. Similarly, we will be in this body. So when we are in this body, we are called human beings. When we move into the body of a cat, then we will be called cats. Then when we move into a body of a bug, we will be called bugs. So therefore, this human life is very short. The time span is very short. And therefore, within that very short time span, we must do the most we can. We must maximize its importance. So this is where the idea of impermanence comes in. So impermanence, as you all know, means always changing, momentarily changing. We don't die the moment we are born. First we were born, then we start aging. We start getting older and older and older, and then we die. Even if we die, even if a child dies right after he or she was born, there was some milliseconds, some seconds, maybe a few hours, a child remains before dying. So someone is born, then starts aging, and then dies. So there is a process, and that process is part of is part of a larger machinery called impermanence. So therefore, it's important to utilize whatever little time we have. We don't know. We are always planning about next year. We are planning about 10 years ahead and so on and so forth. As if we are 100% sure that we can get up tomorrow morning. But to be honest, when we lie down in our bed in the night, if we ask ourselves, how much percentage can I give myself to the certainty that I can wake up tomorrow? Actually, none. It is just a hope, and it's our will that we hold on to. So therefore, because of our attachment to the permanence of life, we engage in so many things that we should not have. But if we are to reflect on the idea, on the philosophy, on the ideology of impermanence, then we will know we don't have much time. We have to give back the wish-fulfilling jewel that we got. So in the short moment that we are possessing it, we need to utilize it to its maximum effect. So the second lesson is impermanence. Now in that short lifetime, if the way to maximize or utilize that short lifetime, right? So the life is the wish-fulfilling jewel. So how do we make the most out of this very short lifetime? If we can do whatever we like, if we do whatever we like to do, not paying attention to our actions and not paying attention to our thoughts, do whatever we feel like doing, being careless, and still gain all the things what we wish to gain. In other words, if we lie to people, we kill people, we commit non-virtuous acts, and still get all the things that we want, then of course we don't need to practice the Dharma. We don't need to think about the Dharma practices. But it is not so. Simply put, if we do good things will come to us. If we do bad things will come to us. It's very simple, but that's the truth. And this is not about religion or spirituality or Dharma or we are not talking about anything, something sophisticated. It's a very simple truth. In our day-to-day life, if we are good to people will appreciate that. And whether you are looking for a favor or not, if you are good to other people, they will be good to you because they also care for themselves. So if other people are good to you, you will also be good to them because you care for yourself. So if somebody is good, somebody is being favorable to you, somebody is doing good to you, you will try to keep a good relationship with them. So from good things comes good things, and bad things come bad things. So it's very simple. So in Dharma, we call this virtuous acts and non-virtuous acts. Doing virtuous acts bring us happiness. Doing non-virtuous acts bring us unhappiness. So this is very simple. So because of that law, that rule, it is not a rule or law made by somebody, someone. It is not a rule made by God or made by Buddha or anyone. This is the natural law. We also call it the law of causality, cause and condition. So Good things, doing good things bring us good things, doing bad things bring us bad things. Very simple. So because of that, in the very short moment that we possess this precious jewel, wish fulfilling jewel, we must utilize. So we must utilize it in such a way that we do as much virtuous deeds as we can, and refrain from doing as much as we can the non-virtuous deeds. So if you remember, Buddha said, commit not any unwholesome deed, do not do any bad things, commit not any unwholesome deeds, gather a wealth of virtue, do as much good as you think you can, and subdue your mind, calm your mind, tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So this is Buddha himself said it. Buddha said that. So this is the very basic. This is the very core of Buddha's teaching. Commit not any unwholesome deed. Gather a wealth of virtue. Subdue your mind. This is my teaching. 4 lines. So therefore, the third practice, the third thing we must encourage ourselves into is to be precise in our choice of actions. To be accurate in our choice of actions. Engage in good actions or engage in virtuous actions, and disengage in non-virtuous actions. But this is because of the law of causality. So this is the third engagement. Sorry, this is the third encouragement or third exhortation. So because of the law of causality, from good things comes good thing, from bad things come bad thing. So if we commit to wholesome deeds, meritorious deeds, virtuous deeds, helping others, having good thoughts, and saying good things to others, and so on and so forth. So actually, when we talk about the virtuous deeds, there are 10 virtuous deeds. 4 of the speech, 4 of the speech, 3 of the mind, and 3 of the physical. 3 physical virtuous deeds, 3 mental virtuous deeds, and 4 verbal virtuous deeds. And so the verbal, the virtuous and non-virtuous are opposite to each other. So when we refrain from one, so non-virtuous deeds is, for example, killing is non-virtuous deed, and not killing someone when you have the opportunity to kill, that is a virtuous deed. So if you are sitting just like that, doing nothing, that doesn't mean you are doing a virtuous deed of not killing, because you're just sitting, right? So if you are given the opportunity to kill someone and refrain from killing that person, then you are doing you are doing the virtuous deed of not killing. So the same thing goes with stealing. If you are sleeping or just sitting down like that, then at that time you're not accumulating any virtuous deeds. If you have the opportunity to steal money, steal things, and you refrain from stealing, then you are engaging in virtuous deeds. Okay. So when we do the when we engage in the virtuous deed and disengage from the non-virtuous deeds, then we have good result. Depending on what we do, we have good results and bad results. Let's say we do all the good things. We tick all the good things, right? We do not stealing, not lying, not killing, and all those things. What we will have then, either in this lifetime or in our very next lifetime or in some other lifetimes, because this is not the first lifetime we have. We have so many lives before. Because of that, there are so many karmas, good or bad karma, we have accumulated. We have so many baggages. We have so many extra baggages, extra clothes that we are carrying with us. So because of that, even if you do good things in this lifetime, it may not materialize in this very lifetime, because you have so many other things that is actually boggling down on you. Okay, so now if you do good things in this lifetime, if you engage in virtuous deeds and disengage from non-virtuous deeds in this lifetime, eventually there will be a good result. But no matter what good result you have by engaging in virtuous and disengaging in non-virtuous deeds, whatever you do, not killing, not lying, and all those things, it all ends up in giving you a better lifetime, better life in samsara. So you are still not free from samsara, meaning next life, for example, you give lots of donation, you give a lot of donation to other people, and the next lifetime you become a very rich person, and probably in that rich life you will waste it all away. It depends. That you could have a very bad intention, or you could have you will be wasted. Your mind does not want to. You have no intention to share your wealth with other person. You use it all up, and then all your merits are gone. And in the life after that one, so 2 lifetimes after, you are again born as a poor person, or so it goes on and on. If you put harm to someone, if you kill someone, if you shorten someone's life, your next life will be short. If you lengthen somebody's life, if you give life to someone, that's why we do a lot of these life liberating sort of activities. We liberate animals, and we liberate fishes, and like that. So when we give life to other people, our lifetimes will be lengthened as well. But then the result is very short. So your next lifetime is a very long life, but then after that you have short lifetime. The problem goes on and on. So as long as you are in samsara, you are having a good life in samsara. So for example, let's say America is the most advanced country in the world. So if you are sick, if you have, let's say, if you have cancer, and you go from a third world country, from Africa to America, you are in a very advanced country, but still you are carrying that cancer. So whether you go from, just because you are in America, the cancer will not disappear just like that. So the idea is not about escaping from or emigrating from Africa to America, but it's more about getting rid of the cancer within you. So in that sense, samsara is that cancer, and we have to get out of samsara. So for that, we need to have that aspiration to get out of samsara, aspiration and hope to get rid of that cancerous disease. Now, that is the point number 4. Oh yeah. So now we finish up to number 4, right? So I will make a division here. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's all in regards to myself, to self. Now from number 5, it's others. So the last one, which is number 4, is actually a reminder for us to get renunciation. So renunciation here means the strong desire or the strong wish to be liberated, so a strong wish to get out of, escape from samsara. So number 1, first we realize how precious human life is, how wonderful human life is, the precious human life is. Second, we realize, as wonderful as it is, human life is very short. Third, we realize, we have to know, since human life is very wonderful, but at the same time it's very short, so therefore we must maximize its duration, maximize its usage, maximize its potential. Number third. Number fourth, even if we maximize the potential of human life by engaging in virtuous deeds and not disengaging in non-virtuous deeds, still we will be in samsara as long as we do not have the renunciation, which means the desire, the wish to get out of samsara. So this is called renunciation. So now, number four, up to yourself, right? Now, even if you have the wish to escape from samsara, and you have the ability to escape from samsara, but after escaping samsara, if you are to leave all the sentient beings, all the mother sentient beings in samsara, and neglect, if we content ourselves with by attaining liberation, attaining nirvana ourselves, and then whatever happens to all the sentient beings, we neglect them, we don't care about them, then this is not right. But we can say about it, but to deeply feel it is not right to leave all sentient beings like that, this is very difficult. So, intellectual understanding we could all have, but to have a deep sort of like understanding, deep feeling, the motivation to liberate all the sentient beings along with myself. In order to have that, we need to practice bodhicitta. So bodhicitta, the gist of bodhicitta is compassion, great compassion. So great compassion is the attitude to put yourself in the other person's position and to liberate them. But in order to put yourself in other people's position, first you have to know what the other person is going through. If you have no idea what hunger is, then you can talk about hunger all the time. You can talk about, oh, hungry people are so poor and like that, but it still doesn't make much sense because you never know what hunger means. If you have no idea what cold means, then you can say a lot of things about, oh, those people are living in cold, so poor, anything like that. But it doesn't have, it doesn't touch the heart. If you had experienced cold, we all have experienced cold, right? At some level. We all have experienced hunger at some level. We all have experienced sadness, grief, loss at some level. So when someone else is going through pain, we can mirror that experience. When someone is crying, we know that something is not right with that person. When someone is smiling, we know that something good is going on with that person's life, so on and so forth. When someone's shivering, we know that that person is cold. So we could experience that. So in order to have proper bodhicitta, we need to have proper compassion. In order to have proper compassion, we need to first feel, experience, suffer, go through all the difficulties that the other person is going through ourselves first. So renunciation renunciation means wanting to escape samsara for myself. If I do not want to escape samsara myself, if I feel samsara is so wonderful, right? There are some bad things in samsara, but most of the time it's a very good thing. I think I love samsara. I will live in samsara. If you find love in samsara, then there is no way you can find you will have the motivation, you will have the desire to liberate other beings from samsara. So without proper renunciation, you will never have proper compassion, great compassion it's called. Without proper great compassion, we can never have bodhicitta. So as long as you love to stay in samsara, you enjoy samsara, you will never have proper bodhicitta. So that is the point number 5. So we will go 2 more lines and then open up the floor for questions. Okay. So whatever questions you have, you can either directly ask or send a text in there. Okay. So number 5 and number 6 are related. That's why I will cover it. Now, in order to, so we talk about bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is the wish to attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, right? Now, after achieving, so this is very important. Becoming Buddha is not the ultimate goal. Okay, becoming Buddha is the goal, but it's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to work for other sentient beings by becoming a Buddha. Because after you become a Buddha, your power, your potentials are limitless, so that you can do whatever you need to do for the sake of sentient beings. Now, sentient beings can be liberated. The suffering of sentient beings can be alleviated only through contemplating. In order to contemplate, they need to understand. In order for them to understand, you need to teach them. In order for you to teach them, you need to understand them. You need to contemplate them first, and then you teach. In order for you to contemplate that, you need to learn it first. So, therefore, in order to, alleviation of the suffering that sentient beings are going through can only be done through eliminating the wrong views in the sentient being's mind. Let's say grasping, wrong view of what the reality of phenomena is, wrong view of permanence, even though almost all phenomena are impermanent, thinking that everything is permanent, thinking that everything is not empty of inherent existence, so on and so forth. All these wrong thoughts, wrong views, wrong ideas has to be eliminated. And in order to do that, we need to study them. So point number 5 is about studying, learning about how to overcome, how to counteract those not negative emotions, but negative views. From negative views comes negative emotions. Negative emotions are developed into, after familiarizing oneself with a negative idea, then that idea becomes your emotion, right? So, for example, in the very beginning, you have no enmity with anybody, but then you start, somebody tells you that this person is a bad person, this person did this and that thing, this person has been our enemy for centuries and so on and so forth. I mean, like that family has and our family have been, enemies for centuries because they did this to our grandfather and this and that. So many ideas were told, and these ideologies were fed into your mind, and then these start developing into emotions. So then the next moment, the next time you see a person from that family, you start hating them. So family is just an example. It can be a race, it can be a country, it can be another group, another community, anything. So in order to eradicate negative emotions, first we need to eradicate negative ideologies, negative wrong views, negative ideas. And that can be only done through proper study. Now we come to point number 7. Proper study itself is not enough. Even if you study, if you do not apply what you study, then it is not going to make any difference. If you study doctor, medical science in college for whatever year, But after coming from the college, you do not practice what you have studied, your medical knowledge. If you do not practice them, then you cannot cure anyone. Only by applying what you have learned in your medical school, then can you help treat patients and cure patients. So just like that, point number 7 is applying, putting into application all the things that you have studied in order to eliminate negative ideas so that you can eliminate negative emotions. Okay, so I conclude here, and if you have any questions, please ask away.
Bây giờ là thầy sẽ kết thúc bài giảng rồi, sang đến phần hỏi đáp ạ.
Thầy Rinpoche, we have a few questions I will be posting on the channel, okay? And
Sure.
then we'll read it for you. I'll post it here so Yang Heng can translate in Vietnamese.
Yes. Can you read the question, Ms. Yen, please, so that I can, yeah.
Yes,
thank you.
So then, the first question is, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please read the question.
So the first question is, as a practitioner in today's busy life, if one has time to practice only one thing, what would that be? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, maybe. Yeah. So if you have only one thing to practice in this lifetime, what would that be? I think compassion. And as I said, in order to practice compassion, in order to become compassionate, in order to compassion is all about feeling. Compassion is being able to feel the pain, the joy, and everything that the other person is going through, mirroring the experience of the other person, the person whom you are being compassionate about. So in order to become compassionate, you will need to experience all those things. You at least intellectually. So therefore, compassion, I think, is the most important practice. And I say this because so normally we talk about compassion, we put it very vaguely, but normally when we talk about compassion in the Buddha Dharma, we are actually referring to something called the great compassion. Compassion in general, we all have it. So His Holiness always says, even when we are first born, we were taken care of by our mother, and we also have love for our mother, and all those our love to be close to our mother, and our mother's love to care for us, they all come from compassion. So this is sort of like a natural form of compassion. This is something we do not have to study or learn or train. So what we do is, in the Dharma, we make this compassion that we have for the people only we love. So mother has incredible love for their children, and the same goes for the children to the mother. But this cannot be the same case for everyone, right? The mother can love their children very much, but at the same time can harm other people's children. So it only happens to those who we love. So what we do with great compassion, as spoken in Dharma, is we widen the net. We extend the compassion we have for only the people, for those who we love, from there to all others. So we usually have these 3 divisions or 3 sections. Loved ones. So we call in Dharma terminology, we call this friends, enemies and strangers, people whom we love and we are close with, people whom we have no idea about, and people whom we very much dislike, we hate. So three divisions. People we cannot stand even for 1 minute, 1 second. So there are three sort of sections. In order to care and be compassionate towards people whom we love, this comes naturally. We don't have to train that. So what we do in Dharma is to extend. We train ourselves to extend our love for people whom we do not like, to people whom we do not care, and towards people whom we have never ever met before. And that is the that is the compassion practice. Compassion, the teaching on compassion is all about.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
So second question, please. Ms. Yan, can you read it?
Okay, second question, Rinpoche. In regards to doing good deeds, what is the proper way? Do we need to go out of our way to do it, or do it when it's most appropriate? For example, we see people go to the fish farm to buy fish and release them into the river. Is this considered as good deeds?
Okay. So in regards to doing good deeds, so there are many situations, many events that occurs. There are many opportunities that appear before us for us to do good deeds. So for example, like when we are at leisure, we can, instead of wasting our time, we can do it to recite some mantra or do some Dharma practice and so on and so forth. And then there are some more difficult tasks, like somebody's making you angry, somebody's pissing you off and things like that. So these are the time when you must when you refrain from getting angry towards someone who is harming you. At that time, you are practicing at your peak level. But in order to practice at the peak level, of course, you need to train before. For an ordinary person, it would be very difficult to refrain from getting angry towards someone who is harming you. So refraining from the temptations to indulge in negative actions. So that is the most effective way of doing good deeds. In regards to the fish farm, right? The fish farm. So there's this thing. I think we have to use our common sense. We have to be very logical about it. If we buy a small amount of fish from a normal fishery or aquarium or whatever, and then release it in the proper water source that the animal could thrive, as well as there is no harm to the ecology, then it is advisable. But if we buy too many foreign fishes and then deposit them in a, if you bring freshwater fish to saltwater lake, just because we want to accumulate good karma and we want to lengthen our lifetime, actually that is not very. I don't think this is very let alone this is, of course, this is not Mahayana practice, because there's a selfish attitude. At the same time, you are shortening the life of that animal. If you disregard the safety of the animal that you are releasing, your only goal is to gain merit, have a long life by releasing that animal. If that is only your goal, if that is your only goal, then I think it is it has the opposite effect of it has the opposite effect of the good deed. So in other words, this is not a good deed. Yeah. Next question.
So I'll combine the third and the fourth questions together. They seem related. What is the difference between love, compassion, and bodhicitta, and how do we cultivate bodhicitta?
What is the difference between love,
and compassion, and bodhicitta?
Okay.
And how do we cultivate bodhicitta?
Okay.
Thank you.
So So actually, I mentioned a little earlier also. So you can have, in order to have bodhicitta, you need to have compassion. In order to have compassion, you need to have love. If you don't love, you cannot be compassionate towards that person. So love is an endearing emotion. It's an when you love someone, you have affinity towards someone. When you love someone, that person, when you love something, that thing or that person, that cause is endearing to you. You have closeness to that thing, that person. You have likeness to that thing, that person. Liking. You have a liking to that thing or that person. So you have affinity towards that thing. And when you like that thing or that person, when you are close to, when your heart is close to that person or that thing, then their emotions become your emotions. When they are hurt, you are in pain too. When they are in joy, you are happy as well. So this is compassion. Compassion is an empathetic feeling, empathetic emotion. But more than empathy itself, compassion is a feeling or an emotion that actually boosts your confidence. So I will explain a little bit. Normal empathy, when someone you love is in danger, an ordinary empathy is, oh, that person is in danger, oh my God, what should I do? Right? Then the story ends. With compassion, it's a little more. It's a little more. It's a little more than that. So, oh, that person whom I love is in danger. So, what can I do to save that person or get rid of that danger that person is going through? So, you will look for solution. You will not be desperate. I mean, you will not be in distress. You will not be stressed out. You will be thinking of ways to get rid of that problem. So love is an endearing emotion. Compassion is an empathetic feeling towards people that you are endeared and that you love. And bodhicitta is the bodhicitta. When we practice compassion, so I told you a little earlier, natural compassion, compassion we have without untrained compassion has to be trained into great compassion, which is extended towards all beings, friends, enemy, stranger. And when you have that, in order to help those people in distress, we need to attain enlightenment, Buddhahood. Because without Buddhahood, so it's like everybody is we are all in a house that is in flames. So I want to escape, but not just myself. I want to rescue all the people that I love in that building. So normal compassion or ordinary compassion is you save only the people you love and you leave out other people. Great compassion is you do not leave anyone. You take everyone out. But that is not possible because there's no way out. There's no escape. So in order to rescue everyone, probably you need to escape from the house first. and then go outside and bring water, bring more people, and bring water, and the douse the fire, so that everyone in the building is saved. So this is bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is not just feeling empathetic towards other person, but feeling so motivated by the plight, the pain that other people are going through, that you seek the highest attainable position, which is Buddhahood. So you have all the possibilities, you have all the potential to alleviate people's suffering. And then you, after attaining Buddhahood, then you save the people you love. So that is bodhicitta. And how to cultivate bodhicitta? How to so if you apply the same the narrative that I just said, first you need to, compassion we all have, but our compassion is what we call conditional. I love you because you love me, right? I am compassionate towards you because you mean something to me. To people whom doesn't mean anything to me, I don't care. So we have to develop compassion into what is termed in Buddha Dharma as great compassion. Great compassion is, I love you, I will take care of you, irrespective of whether you love me or you take care of me. So it is no longer a transaction. We are not exchanging love between each other. We are not exchanging benefit between each other. I will save you, I will love you, I will take care of you, I will serve you simply because I care for you, simply because you are a sentient being that has been suffering just as I suffered before, and I can't stand that. So I will help you. And in order to help you, I am helpless right now. I don't have the means to help you. So therefore, I must achieve Buddhahood to help you. And now that the last one is called bodhicitta. Oh yeah. Any more questions?
Next question, Rinpoche. Two more questions. Will you have time to answer them? Okay.
Sure. I think so.
Okay, thank you, Rinpoche. There's a question there. Will you teach us a powerful meditation practice to abandon the bad habit of unreasonable thoughts or fabricated thoughts? Thank you.
Okay. So I don't know it's powerful, but usually each negative thought, each negative emotion has their counteractive positive thoughts. When there's jealousy, there's appreciation or rejoice. When you have, jealousy is, not being able to bear the goodness in other person's, with the other person, right? If somebody is having a better clothes than you become jealous. So instead of becoming jealous, try to appreciate the fact that the other person is wearing a very, very nice clothes, and so on and so forth. So each negative thought has their counteractive positive thought. So so there are so many. So depending on what mental disposition that you have, you can apply those things. And I can't, since your question is a little bit vague, I do not know which particular point we are talking about. For example, if we are talking about permanence, if we feel like, oh, I'm going to, then we have to apply impermanence. Life is short. We have been aging since the time we were born until now. So many things have changed. Our body has become a little bit weaker. Our mind, the memories are not as clear as before. So many things have changed. So that this tells us, oh, impermanence is also inevitable. And like that, there are so many things. So whatever the mental ailment, mental negative emotion you have, there is always so in order to understand those, that you may need to study a little bit as to what are the counteractive emotions, what are the counteractive thoughts to each counteractive thoughts to each negative thought. So then you can apply those things. If you believe that everything is emptiness is very difficult to if emptiness is very difficult for you to understand or get into, familiarize with, then think of interdependency, right? That everything is dependent upon each other. So there's no independently existing phenomena out there. Nothing is inherently existing on its own. Even a small thing as a pebble, a stone, a very small stone, this is also made up of different atoms and other things. In order for this rock or stone to form, there are many other minerals are necessary to gather together, so on and so forth. So each negative thought has their positive counteractive thought, and we must apply that in order to eradicate those things. Yes. Also, if you mean like unnecessary thoughts, right? Unnecessary thoughts keep coming up, popping up, and that you want to abandon that habit, then the best way to do is to distract yourself, engage yourself in some physically challenging spiritual works, like doing prostration or reciting some mantras, loudly, and so on and so forth. Or maybe you can just sing a song, and then you can, your mind will be distracted from such negative thoughts. Yeah, if this is your question, yeah, because your question is a little bit vague, so I don't know exactly what you are. So is there one more question, right?
Yeah, we have one more question, Rinpoche.
Please go on.
So Rinpoche, you said that when we face challenges in life or when we suffer, we are eager to be liberated from samsara, or we should be eager to be liberated. However, in today's reality, when we face any obstacle or suffering, we offer puja prayers. We pray for better condition, a better life, and quickly overcome all the challenges. Is this contradicting to our practice?
Not necessarily. Let's say, okay, I will give you a small example. Let's say you are in the cold place. You are in the cold place, and because it's so cold, you want to, sometimes we move from the south to north to south in order to escape from heat or cold. So let's say you are trying to escape from cold and going from one place to another. So your main goal is to escape from cold, right? But at the same time, while on the journey, maybe you're on the bus or you are in the train or airplane, whatever. At the same time, since it's very cold in the car or in the carriage itself, you will turn up the heater to. Your main goal is, of course, to get to a warmer climate. But at the same time, on your journey from cold to hot, you have to endure so much cold on the way. So instead of enduring all that, you turn up the heater. So on your journey in your car, you are having the warmth of the air conditioner, the heater. So if you remain in the car for eternity, then that's not the goal, right? You want to escape from the cold extreme. For example, if you're living in Antarctica or some North Pole, like a very cold place, and it becomes so cold, unbearable, that you escape from there to a warmer place. Meanwhile, on your journey from cold to heat, you can't say, oh, I'm going to a hotter place. So once I get there, I will enjoy heat. So the journey, during the journey, I will endure as much cold as I can. And I will not turn up the heater. That is also pointless. So my point is, getting out of samsara, getting out of samsara and getting into enlightenment is the goal, is the main goal. But at the same time, while we are in samsara, while we are in the car, while we are in that train, the cold is unbearable. So if we have the means to turn on the heater, we should turn it on. So in that sense, the heater is temporary. Getting there is the permanent thing. So the rituals and other things, these are temporary. It's like a band-aid, you know. It's not the surgery. It's not checking out the cancer. It's more like a band-aid. It's more like a first aid. But first aids are very important when you are in war, when you are in extreme casualties. Yeah. So it's important to know the difference between first aid and permanent treatment. If you mix that two, then big problem. If you know you are using the first aid for first aid and permanent treatment for permanent treatment, as long as you know this, as long as you can distinguish the two, then there's no problem in doing those practices at all. And actually, it should be done. It should be encouraged. As I said, you should turn. I can see you guys have turned on the fan right behind. So just like that, you have to turn it on. You cannot say, oh, I have to go to, we all must become Buddha. So everything else I'm going to endure. That is pointless. So we are trying to accumulate merit. We are trying to become Buddha. But at the same time, in this room, we are all suffering from heat. So we turn on the fan. So this is it's a very wise thing to do. It's a very commonsensical thing to do. Oh yeah. Bodhichitta.
Thank you, Rinpoche. No more
Thank you,
questions.
and thank you, Juan. Thank you, everyone. So we conclude today's prayer. Today's session. We will, Miss Yan, can you please the dedication? Thank you. Yeah. Gyewan di nyurdo da lama sanye drogyo Drowa Anke ye Zalang Bara Sho Jo Sem Jo Ma Ye Ba Ye Ye Ba Nya Ba Je Ba Ko Ne Gondo Mi Renze Rende Jin Chi Menke Ji Boy Gen Zon Kai Lo Zon Mi Menze De Jen Jen Me I can I one more John Gone Zoi Gen Zon God Lo Zon Mi Menze De Jen Jen Me Boy John Gone Again on God Lo Zon Chai Lo Come on. So much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Sheila.
Thank you, everyone.
Là
Yeah, thank you. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.